Everyone, this is Lawyer and Legal Scholar channel. Today I'm going to tell you my pieces on advice about how to prepare a letter of motivation for law schools. To record this video, I collected my experience and my mistakes in preparing the letter of motivation that already helped me to enter the PhD studies and to participate in various programs for law students and lawyers. Just the essence, nothing else. Firstly, to my mind, there are two groups of requirements. The first group of requirements is to the letter appearance. The appearance of the document is the representation of the applicant, and also in a law career, the perfect appearance of the document is the requirement for any legal document drafted by a lawyer. The second group of requirements is about the content. The basics of any of the letter of motivation and the legal document are the appropriate font, font size, the color of font, bold, italic or underline emphasis of the font, the first line indentation, line spacing, aligning of the text. To make reading easier, I do the following from my experience. The preferred type of font is Arial. It is easier to read on the screen, and the size of the font is 11. I use the left aligning of the text. The font color is black. Also, in the letter of motivation, I use only bold emphasis for the heading in the very beginning of the document. Motivation letter of John Doe. It's an example. But I will cover it later. Also, it is better to turn on the function to see all characters. My advice is to use it all the time. It might be uncomfortable in the beginning, but then it becomes impossible to work without this function. In my legal practice, I do this every time. Line spacing is 1 or 1.5. Here it depends on choices. Usually I use single spacing, so the document doesn't look like an enormous one. The paragraph spacing is 0 before and 6 after. The first line indentation is 0.5. Only the second and subsequent paragraphs have first line indentation. The letter should have heading like motivation letter of John Doe or Jane Doe. Also for the heading I use bold emphasis. The title in the beginning of the letter is the necessary part, as it would be convenient for the admission board to see at a first glance the document behind them. Thus, do not forget it. After the letter is finished, it is better to finalize with searching for double or triple spaces with Ctrl+H function and replacing with single space. Also, I prefer to clear the space after dots in the end of the sentences. It looks neater in my opinion. With Ctrl+A function, you can finalize the unilateral color for the whole document, font, size font, the paragraph spacing. Here is the example of the letter appearance. You can see the beginning, the naming of the document. Also, you can see the introduction and the end of the letter. Secondly, as for the content, the structure and the useful language shall be presented. For the standard beginning, use Dear Sir Madam, then to proceed with sentences like I am writing to apply for the energy law program offered by your university for the academic year 2025. To end the letter, it is better to use the phrase like I believe my unique combination of academic and professional experience in something like criminal law would be an asset to your program. The next paragraph for the end is like I thank you for considering my application and I am willing to attend an interview at any possible time. Or if there would be no interviews at all, you can say that I thank you for considering my application and I look forward to hearing from you soon. You can demonstrate your gratitude to the admission board and university. It is important. The final part is write aligned yours sincerely, John Doe. These typical sentences take the precious space, however they are inevitable due to the requirements to formal letters in the language. Here are some useful examples of phrases, but please do not copy them directly. Use smart paraphrasing. Another part of useful phrases for the end of the letter. Other useful consideration while you draft the letter. Do not use words like important, very, extremely, and similar vague words. They take in the space and they do not add any core information, while the applicant have the limited number of words or pages to deliver his or her motivation. It is important. Limited number of linking words. Of course, it is necessary to use them to make the text coherent and structured, but the balance is the key. Read some additional literature, not only the legal one. It will help you to sound solid. Also, you will be able to produce your thoughts coherently. For instance, while I prepared my letter of motivation for the university for my PhD studies, I read a lot of literature about biographies of different lawyers. It helped me to understand their motivation and their life and what actually they thought about the legal profession. Also read about the program and university, and you will be able to write the text with deep sense. The structure of the answer is one paragraph. It shall contain like two or one sentence answering the questions directly, the statement. Then to integrate the example, but please do not copy the CV, but tell the example, for instance, like a case from your work with a client meeting or a university situation. Then finalize your thoughts, make it catchy, simple and structured, but not too much. The paragraph is like 5 to 6 sentences. The letter shall have around 3 to 4 paragraphs. Also, if to just add a simple advice about copying of the CV, do not do this because in CV you write something that you did or perform at your job. For example, I prepared or I drafted legal documents. And meanwhile, in the letter you can say that I helped persons with disabilities. And one client was really special to me, and it inspired me to proceed my career with human rights law. As for the content, if there are no specific questions that applicants shall cover, then it is better to answer the following questions as to my mind. Firstly, why this program? For instance, the program offers studies in criminal law, with emphasis in human rights. I have been practicing criminal law for 1 year, and there are kind of issues with the detention in my country or illegal detention in my country. I want to learn how to solve this issue and what is the position in legal doctrine. And then I want to apply this knowledge in my legal practice. Also, the second question you should answer how you will use it is in the future. For instance, I will be able to implement the acquired knowledge while drafting the legal documents and prepare the legal cases for the European Court of Human Rights. It is also sounds solid and you just say what you really want to do without something really fancy, sophisticated, and it is just about the core personality of the applicant. The third motivation that should be included in your letter is what can you provide to the program. For instance, I will be able to prepare research documents on the topic and to make the university more attractive to the future students. Think about studies as a mutual exchange of knowledge, experience, and emotions. University is not only about providing students with diplomas. You shall be logical and coherent at all. The no rules. First of all, do not use AI. Please just do not do this. AI does not understand your motivation or background. It doesn't have any emotions. It is just sound like a Google answer, maybe a little bit sophisticated, but still it lacks emotional intelligence. As for me, I recognize the text written with AI as it is in its core does not have any sense. If you read text written with AI carefully, you see that it doesn't give any motivation or reasoning or argument. The Admission Commission also used this specific software to check the use of AI, so it is better even not to try, because you will be dismissed from the competition. But at the same time, you may use AI tools to see, or to that AI tool may show you the grammatical mistakes that you have. Thus, for this purpose, it is possible to use AI. Do not use extremely sophisticated words. The second tip. Because if you don't use them in your real life, or even if you are a scholar or a lawyer, and if you don't use them at all, it will be very artificial, and the Commission also will see this, especially if the English language is not your mother tongue. Also, do not exceed the number of words. Even try to use less. For example, if the requirement is 550 words, try to make everything in 500 or even 450. The Commission simply just don't have time to read all the documents for a long time. The ideal version of the letter is when it is on one page, and no more. Please do not wait until the final deadline. The document shall be prepared one day before. I remember 5 years ago, I had an application deadline, and in the very end, the software of the website of the program I applied to, it actually broken down, and I wasn't able to submit my documents. Luckily, the admission commission for the program, they postponed the deadline, but still it was really nervous situation for me. So do not do this. And since that time, I also set my deadlines one day before the real deadline. Also, do not copy your CV. As I said before, you don't need just to put the information from your CV to your motivation letter. In CV, you just state the facts. For instance, I helped not helped, but just I prepared 500 legal documents. And in your letter of motivation, you may say that I learned a lot from drafting numerous legal documents. It actually taught me to be logical, to analyze the information, to search for information. So give your emotions and your position towards what are you doing. If there are requirements to the letter from the admission board, also please do not violate them, because it will automatically dismiss you from the competition. Also, make a plan for drafting the letter of motivation. It should take at least 1 month of day-to-day work, from my experience. Just set up like 1 hour or 30 minutes everyday work for preparing a letter of motivation, and you will see that it will be much more efficient than just to write something in a week before the deadline. You will not be able to analyze your thoughts and to think carefully about what you really want to say. In almost all the cases, it is better not to use the quotes. They take place and does not give any additional sense, especially if the quote is prepared or said by someone else. It does not cover your personality. You cannot show the sense, your attitude. So do not waste your space and do not use it. Finally, for every program, a single unique letter. Do not do this because every program has its special requirements, and also it has some particular things that are unique about this program. So please, for every program, prepare very original letter. And do not use the open sources. Do not copy your own letters to different programs. Do not copy the open sources examples because it will sound artificial, and the admission board will see that your letter is not an original one. Here is the final example of the whole letter. You can see that we have very neat spacing, we have the heading, the beginning, the body of the letter, and the ending of the letter. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below and let's have a discussion.